Hello, Jerry here with Season 5, Episode 46 of Ask Jerry Tachoir. If you'd like to ask me a question, simply go to my website, which is tachoir.com, and it's spelled Tachoir, tachoir.com. And in the upper right-hand corner is a little Contacts tab. Click on that, fill out the little form, and ask your question, and perhaps we'll do one of these videos. You could also comment on YouTube down below in the comments section. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time for me to find that and respond to it. But anyway, that's another option for you. Today's question, this one comes, oh, by the way, I meant to say, if you would please subscribe to this channel, that helps a lot to get us up on the algorithms of YouTube and get other people to see this video. And anyway, it helps a lot. So just, it's free, it's no big deal. Click on the subscribe button and that'll help a lot. Anyway, today's question comes from Angelo in Greece. Hello, Jerry. I just want to say how much I enjoy your music and playing. Your recordings are so unique and original. Your choice of compositions are brilliant with no rehash standards as others tend to record. I'm curious as to how you select what to record, as these tunes seem to fit the vibraphone very well. Also, could you talk a bit about your recording technique, as I believe you get the best sound of all the other vibes players out there? Thank you. Any secrets? Look forward to your comments. Best, Angelo. Well, Angelo, let's talk about the second part of your question regarding vibe techniques and recording techniques. And to be honest with you, there's no secret. I don't have any magic sauce or anything that I do to get the sound that I get, other than I'm very fortunate in that I have my very own recording studio, state-of-the-art recording studio with a control console and a drum booth in the main room. And so with that, I've had the ability to experiment a lot with different things and different sounds and different ways of miking and everything to get the sound that I want. And to believe it or not, I get the best sound pretty much of any studio I've ever been in. I've been in a lot of recording studios, but I seem to get the best sound here just because the way I adjusted it and got it working in my room. But the most important thing, if you want a good vibe sound, is start with a good vibraphone. And I'm so fortunate in that right now I'm playing a Bergeralt extended range vibraphone. It goes down to C. I've asked for this instrument for like 35 years with another company, and they kept saying, yeah, it's coming, yeah, and it never came. Bergeralt approached me and they sent me an instrument, and I am so in love with this instrument. I wish I had it 35 years ago. I mean, it's a beautiful instrument, sounds terrific. So that's your first thing. Find an instrument that gives you the sound that you want. It's really nice, warm sound, and make that your choice of instrument. Then, obviously, your choice of mallets. You have to find some good quality mallets that give you the sound on your instrument, and it'll change from instrument to instrument. So you got to find a mallet that you like that gives you that sound. And again, I am also very fortunate in that I endorse innovative percussion, and I make the Jerry Tachoir JT23 mallet. And this went through a long time of trying to go back and forth of different ways of wrapping them, different strengths and different balls, different cores, until one day it's like, this is the one, this is the mallet I want, and it's worked out really well, and I'm really proud of this mallet. So check it out. It's a great mallet for the vibes. It's a great mallet for marimba, and I use it on the mallet synthesizer as well. A real nice warm sound. You don't get that clanky kind of hard, brittle sound which I really hate. I want a nice warm. I want to hear the fundamental of the bar coming out without the real strong bangy attack. The third thing I suggest is find yourself some good microphones. I always advise people to use a condenser microphone. Condenser microphones require phantom power to power the microphone, but they tend to be better microphones for picking up the warmth and the sound of the vibraphone. Now, believe it or not, the vibraphone was at one time and actually a very hard instrument to record back in the analog world. The vibraphone, when you hit the bar, in addition to the fundamental, you have overtones, and then you have these transients, which are the frequencies above 20 kilohertz that we don't actually hear as humans, but it would saturate analog recording tape. And back in those days, I remember going into the studio and the engineer would be in there, and I'd go in and go, man, I'm hearing distortion, I'm hearing that. And he would say, no, look at the meters, everything is good. And I said, yeah, but there's distortion. You're going to have to record it again and back it down. And I had to convince him that don't look at the meters alone, use your ears, because the transients are actually faster than the meters. So the meters might look like, oh, everything is good, but in actuality, there's something going on that's distorting it, and you have to be sensitive to it. In the digital world, that has all changed because we're capped off at 20 kilohertz. So the digital spectrum goes from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, and then that's it. There's nothing else. So you don't have all those transients going on, but it still can distort, and you have to be very careful to stay within those ranges. So that's really the only thing I can offer you in terms of getting a good vibraphone sound. Trust your ears and listen to what's going on. Now, the next part about compositions that you asked. So I'm very fortunate. Again, I'm the luckiest man going. I married a lady, French-Canadian, that I met at Berklee College of Music back in 1974, 75, somewhere in that range. Her name's Marlène Debienne Tachoir, French-Canadian, and she has perfect pitch, and she was a composer, piano major at Berklee, and we got together, and she's got this gift, this prolific gift of composition where she could sit at the piano and find the sounds and find the melodies, because her ears obviously give her every note that she hears. She knows what it is, and it can write it out. She knows the vibraphone. I mean, we've been married for now 49 years. She knows the vibraphone. She knows my extended range of my new instrument, and even though she doesn't necessarily specifically write for the vibraphone, she can hear it in her head and understand how I'm able to manipulate, and then she trusts me to come up with a way to play it. Now, she's a piano player, so when piano players write, they write with 10 fingers in mind on 88 notes. So a lot of times the music that I get from Marlène, I have to adapt it to the vibraphone. I have to figure out ways. Unfortunately, with my extended range, I don't usually have range issues anymore, but you still have to work on sticking and voicings and how you're going to execute this line. And but anyway, she's primarily the composer in the family. I've tried composition. I've composed a few pieces, and to be honest with you, I find composition to be one of those things where you have to put the time in. You have to actually be there and experiment and go and listen to it and rewrite it and keep going and go. Every time I try to do that, something happens. The phone rings. I gotta meet with a promoter. I gotta do an interview. Some business contract. I mean, it's like all these distractions. Whereas my wife seems to be able to go into her studio, sit at the piano, and she can write and write and write. And a lot of times, it doesn't come easy. Sometimes she's working on something and she'll put it aside because it's like this isn't working. And then months later, she'll bring it back out and oh, okay, now I know where it needs to go, and she'll develop it. But there's also been a couple tunes that she wrote that took a half hour. There was 2 tunes I can think of. One called Flyer that won the first prize in the Global Music Network Jazz Composition Contest of the Year, and she wrote that quickly. So it can happen, but usually composition is one of those things. You gotta put the time into it. And so I'm a firm believer, and I'm trying to be original and creative. The concept of rehashing standards that everybody in the world has recorded at one time and all the masters have recorded is kind of like something that I really don't feel the need to do. I mean, I used to at Berklee. I played all the standards. I know most of the standards. I could do a gig if somebody called off all these standards. I could get through it. But that's not who I want to do. I want to have my own voice. I want to have my own sound. And original compositions, to me, is the way to go. And again, like I said, I'm lucky that I have an in-house composer that I like her music, and she's able to come up with things. So in terms of the actual formatting of the music onto a recording project, we try to have a theme for the entire recording. And we'll take the tunes that fit that theme. In other words, if we have like a Latin-esque project, the tunes will represent that. If it's more of a ethereal kind of ECM project, then we'll get those tunes. And a lot of times, I'll tell Marlene, I'll say, look, I'm looking for a Latin tune, and I'll give her maybe a groove or something, or I'll play a melodic thing, and I'll say, can you kind of come up with something like that? And she'll work on that and develop it, and that's the way we work. It's a kind of a nice concept to be able to do that. So anyway, that's basically it in terms of the music that we do, and also how to get a good sound on the vibes in a recording studio. I hope this helps you, and please do ask me some more questions and submit them, and we'll perhaps do one of these videos. Again, thank you so much for being part of this series. It's been a lot of fun, and I do want to thank the Bergerald Company for helping support this, and also for this amazing instrument that I play. So keep at it, and hope to talk to you soon. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.